On the monthly time frame, we're in an uptrend. On the weekly time frame, this is where I would say the trend started here. This is on the weekly time frame. This is monthly, this is weekly. Some persons, which I would also do, is don't ignore this. Don't ignore this on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, this is what we'll be looking at. Now, if you see very closely, you notice this zone we drew before coincides with our, as in it matches with our weekly time frame buy. Now, this is the zone I put on the higher time frame, which is still on the weekly time frame. All these zones, I'm just using it to let me know that everything I'm looking for buys. Like I always tell you, the technical analysis can even tell you or give you an idea of what fundamental analysis will do before price does what it wants to do. Now, since we are looking for buys, which is this is price going up like this, we are looking for buys. It dipped down like this, but eventually made a new high. Okay, so far price has not taken this low, and this is the high it has made. So this is the swing we are inside. Remember what I told you, what Prince does. He puts one line at the bottom here, which is a good attitude to use. One line at the bottom here, it will help you. Another line at the top here, this would help you. On the daily time frame, that means anything inside of here, I want to be looking for buy. Anything inside of here, more buys above, then my direction will change for sell below here. That is if I'm using the daily time frame. But on this same daily time frame, this is the last seller. Be careful, careful. This is the last seller. So I don't want to touch sell anywhere inside of from here down. I want to be looking for, I don't want to touch buy from here down. I want to be looking for buy upwards. Just pay attention, okay? Any question you have, I would take my time to explain it. Just all you need to do right now is pay attention. Okay? Um, this on the daily time frame, watch what I'm doing, just observe. All I want you to do is observe. This is daily daily low, okay? I'm just formulating this for you, daily high for the team here, okay? Which means I want to be looking for buys. This is daily high, okay? This was the last guy who took us down. So to be on the safe side, I can put it like this. Then this is what I do. I have something like a star, not that. I think it should be inside here. It's supposed to be like a cross telling me that I should not take any trade inside of here. Don't look for any buy. Your buy should come above once price has taken this high. Now, we've not even come to the time frame yet to say, okay, we are trading. No. This is our multi-time frame analysis. We are still trying to figure out what we want to do. So my intention is to take a buy, but my buy must happen above this high because this is the last guy that took sell coming down. Look at it. So this is the last guy that initiated the sell. So I must only take sell buys above this last seller. It's just like if you want to be in a safe side, go when the last person that would counter you is weak. It's just like a race. If I want to run race, I will not try to pick a race when everyone is trying to run against my direction. I will have difficulty crossing through them. But if everyone is running in my direction, it will be easy to convince them that we are in the same team. In the other words, it's easy for me to flow with them. And a simpler example I can use is um, imagine you're in a meeting. Imagine you're in a meeting and everyone is in a table of 10 persons, a table that has 10 persons, and you're trying to sell an idea. It is easier to lobby the other 9 people so that they can be on your side. If 9 people on your side plus you is bringing the idea to be, it will just scale through. But imagine that out of the 10 people at that table, one of them is saying no. Just that one voice depends on who that person is. If that one voice is coming from the chairman or the director of the board, that is a big problem. You understand? But even if the one voice is coming from just a member of the board, that one voice can convince others to see in the direction that he or she is looking at. So the one voice is this guy against my direction. So what I want to do is to only take buys when I have come above it. Okay, so my point is this. This is the last seller. So I want to look for buy going upwards. Anything below that guy, I don't want to take what? I don't want to take any buys inside of here. Now, if you look at this very well, price did what? Price was dancing here like this and eventually crossed this high, eventually crossed that high, which is an indication that, remember what I always told you, whenever price changes direction, let's say market is coming downwards and you have price change direction for an uptrend, always wait for the retracement. Always wait for the retracement to continue upwards. Don't just say, okay, price was down, it has taken it, it will continue going up. If it continues to go up, no problem. But it's safer to always wait for this retracement. Okay, I've noticed it. It will save you a lot of tears. So on the daily time frame, we had a breach to the upside. Normally, somebody would have said, okay, let me put my buy stop above here. Putting your buy stop above there is not bad because if you look at it, this daily candle did not break the high. But it is safer to do what? It is safer to wait for price to give you retracement. Okay? Now, we have talked about the daily time frame. Let's look at the 4 hours time frame. For the 4 hours, remember what I said, I'm only looking for buys above this guy, above this guy. So on the 4 hours time frame, this is the last guy that I can see clearly that took us above that guy. Pay attention to my zone. So what I'm showing you right now is not rocket science. If any of you says you don't understand it, then I know that you're just playing with me, because everything I'm showing you here is what I've taught you and what I've asked you to exercise, to do your exercise on. Okay, this is the 4 hours guy. Now, on the 4 hours time frame, this is our 4 hours support. Please pay attention. Like again, like one of us does, he puts, which is a strategy I'll ask you to use. It will help you. Put me, I do this myself. Okay, this is 4 hours what high. Okay, what this means is that if I'm taking a buy, my TP should be here. But this is the confusion I want you to pay attention to, because I had to figure this out myself. No one taught me this. And I don't want you to make that mistake. What's the confusion? Once when you have a bullish candle and a bearish candle not being on the same line, it is safer to carry that your price to wherever the bearish candle is, depending on the direction. Like this one now, the bearish candle is the one that is lower. So you put your this thing on the red candle. If it's in a situation where the green candle is here and the red candle is above, you put it on the green candle. But make sure that you are taking from the lower end, not the higher end, because price can tap the lower end convincingly before going to the upper end. So it's better that you're already out if price wants to reverse than for you to be expecting it to come this high and then reverse. Why I'm telling you this is that 1 or 2 pips, don't wait for an accurate, oh, I must hit 1 or 2 pips before I close my trade. If your trade is approaching a zone where you know that will have great impact, it's better to put your TP a few pips below where you're supposed to go out, but make sure that it's not less than 1 arrow, meaning whatever you're risking should equal what you're planning to gain. Okay, so on the 4 hours time frame, I'm looking for what? Buys. Again, what I taught you the last time, this is the buy. So we are in this swing. Everything I'm doing, if you check from the weekly down to this time frame, is the same thing. We are in this swing. Price came down and came down again. So this is the last seller. I want to only look for buys above this guy. The same thing I did when I was talking about daily time frame. I'm doing the same thing on the 4 hours time frame. I'm only looking for buy above this guy. Now, what did you notice? Price took this guy, price took this guy, price took out this guy, and the next thing he was supposed to do was come back for retracement. Okay, 1 second, please. 1 second, guys.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so what I was trying to explain is that this is our last seller. Until we come above this guy, we are still in what? Seller's territory, and we came above it. The same thing I told you, even if price is coming down like this and it takes this guy out, so far as it's changing direction from sellers to buyers, wait for that retracement before you take the buy. Did it not happen yet? The same thing happened here. Price retraced and before it started going up. Now, if you were trading on the 4 hours time frame, this is what I was telling you. The thing I told you, take your time to analyze it, take your time to understand it. This is it. All those language I was speaking since, this is it here. Where you're waiting for price to give you resistance. If you're looking for buys, you're always crossing resistance. If you're looking for sales, you're always crossing support. I remember I said this. So since we are looking for buys, our interest will be on resistance. But don't forget, this is the 4 hours time frame. and I told you to do it on a 30 minutes time frame. So we are still going to drop down. On the 4 hours time frame, this is where we are. Okay. Now we've not even looked at um, the fundamentals yet. We are still on technicals. Don't forget, we've not touched news yet. And technicals is already telling us that we should be looking for buys. Everything, all confluences are pointing in one direction, buys. Okay, so this was our last seller. It has taken it high. This seller has been taken out. By now, this buyer. Now, this is our resistance, which is that line you always draw. If you remember, I asked you to draw. This is your resistance. Okay, this is your resistance. You're waiting for candle to break above this resistance, because for you to say resistance has been formed means you had a breakout. You waited for price to form resistance and break off that resistance. If what I'm explaining appears cumbersome, then you need to go back to the exercise you did for 2 weeks, starting from last week, this week and last week. Go and look at it. If you're not following, then you have some exercise to do on yourself. Okay, I gave you ample time to study it. So with that being said, I'm looking for this. Now, if I were to be trading on the 4 hours time frame, what I'm going to do is simply this. I'll put my buy stop above this high. Remember, not on the candle itself, but some pips above it. My stop loss would be where? Below this support. Not this candle, the support. Not this candle. This is the breakout candle, but this is not where your stop loss will be. Your stop loss must respect the structure. Your stop loss must do what? Respect the structure. Then you have to use, look at this is 1.44. So I want to shift this to make it 1.0, which is 1. This is my 1:1. Okay. But again, I am not interested in 1:1. 1:1 is when I will close 80% of my trade and leave it to run for me to hit runners. Okay. Pay attention. I'll keep adding some condiments to the soup. Mind you, this is the 4 hours time frame. So the next thing we are going to do now is to go to the 1 hours time frame. The next thing now is our 1 hours time frame. Okay. On the 1 hours time frame, mind you, I put this using the 4 hours time frame. Sometimes I trade on the 4 hours time frame, but remember, I said use the 30 minutes, which it will take time for you to master it with your eyes. Okay. On the 30 minutes, this was the resistance we had. On the 4 hours, our resistance was here. Remember, let me go back to our 4 hours time frame. Look at the resistance, but on the 1 hour, it came even higher. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Just pay attention. This is multi-time frame analysis. So for if you say, hey, this is looking difficult, this is looking confusing. Yes, new things are confusing, but you have to practice. Okay. On the 1 hour time frame, you have to do the same thing. The same thing. On the 4 hours time frame, you see this is exactly where our 4 hours guy is. Now, if you look at it on the 1 hour, price went up, came down, and made a new low. So this is our last seller. I'm not looking for buys until we are above this guy. Again, price took him out. So this guy has now been taken out. You see that the same process keeps repeating. What I did on the daily, from the weekly, in fact, monthly, weekly were bullish, so there was no need for me to do it. But from the daily 4 hours, 1 hours, we kept doing the same process. Okay. process. This guy now, who is the last seller, has been taken out. Ignore what happened here. Our main attention here is to know which direction we are. And this is our 4-hour support. This is our 4 hours high. Okay. This is our 4-year high. So now this is the last on the 1-hour time frame that we came to. This was the last seller. Until we come above this guy, I'm not looking for what? Buys. I'm still looking for sales. Or I'm not going to take any trade. I'm only looking for buys above this guy. And eventually, we had a break. And remember what I told you, the same thing. Whenever you have a break that changes direction, wait for retracement. We broke and price did what? Retraced. And once you retrace, wait for the break of that resistance to do what? Take your buy. Now, if I wanted to take my buy here on the 1-hour time frame, this is where I will take my buy. I'll put my buy above this candle, and my stop loss now will be here. Have you now seen that on the 4 hours, my stop loss was bigger? On the 1 hour, my stop loss is tighter, which means if I were to be using 4 hours time frame, by 1 hour time frame, I would have hit my TP before the 4 hours guy even see their TP. On the 1 hour, I would have hit my TP before the 4 hours guy sees their TP. So what do I do in this scenario? What do I do in this scenario? This means that the lower the time frame you go, the tighter your stop loss will be, and that gives you an edge. If you're trading on a daily time frame, daily guys will be seeing 30 pips, 40 pips like 2 pips. Meanwhile, the guy on the 5 minutes time frame will be seeing 30 pips like big gap. On the guy on the weekly time frame will not even see 30 pips. In fact, the minimum you'll be seeing is 50 pips, because 30 pips will look like too tight from his entry based on the weight of the candle. Now, based on what I've explained, this is where my entry will be. This is where my stop loss will be. Now, you are going to ask me, but why are you not waiting for, since price did not break the high, why are you not waiting for candle to make another resistance before going high? As in, why are you not waiting for price to break this high before going high? I can only do that if, pay attention, I can only wait for, since this is a resistance, I need to wait for price to have a breakout, maybe somewhere here, and join it. But that is only useful if this guy had taken out this low. But as you can see, this support did not take out this low. It didn't take it out. If it had taken it out and made a new low, I would have waited for it to come up, wait for retracement before taking buy. But since this our support, the retracement was deep but did not take out this low, there is no need waiting for what? A candle to break this high. I can just put my pending order and wait for price to do what? Go up. Now, that is for the 1 hour time frame. Remember what I told you? The lower we go, the more clearer it appears. The lower we go, the more clear rather it appears. It appears clearer the lower we go. Now, on the 30 minutes time frame, this is the range we are in. But this candle here, this candle that you're seeing, is the news candle. This candle here is the news candle. And as you can see, although it is fundamental, it did not go against what we've been looking for, which is a buy. Although fundamental is supposed to change the direction of the market or give you something to worry about. But we've noticed that although that the fundamentals actually confirmed what our technicals was telling us, then mind you, I must add this. From experience, it does not play out all the time. But most of the time, Fundamental only confirms what technical is already showing you. Okay, so this is what I want you to see.